Hi guys. Today I have one of my clients with me. Her name is Kara, and she has graduated my program, and she has done some really things since our time together. And she's been kind enough to come on and talk about those things, where she was, how she got to where she is, and also share tips or her secrets to getting here. So I think that there's probably going to be a lot of you guys here in this group that can really resonate with Kara, where she was and where she is today might be where you are trying to go. And I think what she has to share could be really valuable for you guys on your journey of manifesting your dream career, your dream life, and just getting to where you want to be. And I'm just so excited that she's here with me. I think she's got some really valuable stuff to share. And I'm just so proud of her. And I've been watching her. Of course, we've stayed in contact because that's just how I am with my clients. I love them to death. And so we're on each other's pages. I'm seeing her like become a rock star. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is so exciting. So I invited her back on. She was here a long time ago when she was in the middle of my program. But now it's been a while since she's graduated, and she's really taken it. There was like a Toy Story quote. It's like, she's gone like the wind, and she hit the bullseye. She's gone like the wind with it, and she really hit the bullseye. So I know that that's not the right Toy Story quote, but
I love Toy Story.
It's my paraphrase of it, and that's what's happening. So I'm so excited. So Kara, can you tell us just a little bit about who you are and what you're doing and what you're working on today?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm Kara. I actually have started almost like an alias, the Mindful Mom. So I recently left my job in the medical field and received my certification to teach breathwork and meditation, which is something that has been so special and transformative in my own personal life. And I have just been holding a lot of free things within the community and really starting to build my foundation for my future business, which is something really big, but I have a lot of time to get all of those things accomplished. So I'm trying to not rush it, take it nice and slow. And yeah, it's just been great. It's almost been July 22nd. It was my last day at work. So it's almost been a full year, not quite.
I love it. And I love that you mentioned that, you've got these really big plans, and just piece by piece, things are coming together, and you know that you've got this big vision, but you're not even about to rush it. You're feeling so surrendered into the time that you accomplish it. And I can just feel your energy of excitement and also just ease. Like I can just tell that you are in this energy of like, I've got this, and I don't care how long it takes me. This is where I'm going, and I'm good right now. My life is where I need it to be right now. I've surrendered, and I'm living my passion. I'm good. Like I'm good, and I'm manifesting more.
Absolutely.
I love that, because that's like totally what this is really
Mm-hmm.
what I really want to share with people is like the key to manifestation is to get to a place of complete surrender and contentment where you are, right? If you can be content with who you are and what you have today, you can see yourself of all pressure of anything that's going to actually just repel, your manifestations from coming in. And I just know like our time together was a really key component in that contentment for you, because, and I'm going to let you tell your story, but I know whenever we first started working together, we were in the opposite of that energy. Absolutely. And so with that being said, what were you experiencing when we first started? Where were you, a little over a year ago?
I'm so excited you said that about surrendering to where you are, because that was something that was really, really big for me in our time together.
Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you.
I know, I feel like you helped me so much. So I was just really struggling. I felt really stuck in my life, in a lot of aspects of it, in my work and my relationships. And it wasn't just working with you to help get over those things. It was, like you said, really surrendering. And if I couldn't leave my job at that time, and you really taught me how to appreciate things that are here right now. There's not always going to be things in your life that you necessarily want to be dealing with, but when you find the positive, when you find something good. I remember talking to you about traveling, how much I couldn't even, like, I didn't even want to go anywhere on the weekends or do anything after work because I was spending so much time in my car traveling. And you were like, okay, well, let's flip the script. Like, you have a vehicle, you get to listen to your music, your podcast, and you just made me appreciate, you really did teach me how to appreciate things that are outside of my control. I don't.
Yeah, and that were inevitably draining you and taking your
Absolutely.
energy, and also just that of, I have to do this and this sucks and I'm not enjoying it because we're looking at that or we're focusing on
Mhm.
what we're not enjoying about it.
Yes,
Flipping that script to getting a new perspective. And within that new perspective, it gives you a whole new experience. And then it
absolutely.
also opens up these opportunities. Oh, well, now I can live my life after
Mhm.
work. Well,
Yeah.
now I can live my life on the weekends because I'm no longer deeming these things as things that are happening to me or,
Mhm.
things that suck, that are really just that limitation that we put on ourselves because of whatever reason. It's not always, I
Yeah.
don't think it's our fault that we have these limitations. I think, we just get in these cycles and things become robotic and our soul starts to
Mhm.
kind of shut down a little bit. And it's not that the soul shuts down. It's just like we get this kind of disconnect from the
Yes.
soul or
Yes.
from like the innate magic that's
Mhm.
just around us. And like, so that is just, it's so important in this journey to reawaken yourself to the magic that's already around you, to the
Yeah.
miracles that are already around you, because that's what's going to move you. And I'm telling you, like, I mean, you guys see me, like, I
Mhm.
am manifesting like all these things. Like, I
Yes.
mean, it's taken me time. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes these manifestations take months,
Right.
to take a year,
Yeah, it's
but
not
it's
something that
happening.
happens
It's
overnight
happening
most
so
of the time.
fast,
Yeah.
really fast, because I mean, I just wrote a book, but
Mhm.
obviously like it takes time for like production and publishing and all this other stuff. That's not in my control, but I still
Absolutely.
popped that book out and I still became an international bestseller, and all these things. And you had to have your job, right? Because we can't
Mhm.
just transition careers
Yeah.
all willy-nilly or whatever,
Right.
or like hope on God power. I mean, God is driving us
Absolutely. Right. Yeah.
to show up and we have to
Yes.
do the work,
Yeah.
and you stayed the course. You found contentment in where you were.
Yeah.
And that was what allowed you show up even
Mhm.
when you, because if you're showing up and you're not okay with where you're at, then you're not showing up in any type of creative or intuitive energy or flow. But
Right.
if you let that pressure go, or you take off the blindfold of the everything sucks, or, this isn't,
Mhm.
and I hate to say it like that because it's not like you hated your life really,
Yeah.
because
No.
you did.
Right.
You actually loved your job. It was really hard for you to leave your
Yeah.
job because you loved it so much. And
Mhm.
you were having issues in your relationship, but it was really hard for you to leave the relationship because you knew it was the relationship you were supposed to be in. And you
Right.
were having trouble with your kids. Like, you loved it all. You loved your life. There was
Mhm.
just this thing in front of your third eye, or in front of like
Yeah.
you, that was just
Holding me back,
making
keeping me
making it,
blocked. Yeah.
yeah, there was just a block.
Well,
And
like you said earlier, it was like repeating the same cycles. And I think that sometimes I can see myself getting caught up in these circles again. But the work that we've done together, I mean, I've reached out to you multiple times, like, hey, day two, like I sat down today and like made a list of everything that I did today so I could compare and contrast, and I'm
yeah,
still using the tools and techniques
right.
you've taught me to continue on this journey. And
And
I
I'm
think
so
that that's
glad you
been
mentioned that. I'm
the
so glad you mentioned
beautifulness
that,
of it.
because that's another thing. Another thing that I tell my clients, this firsthand.
Mhm.
All my current clients know this firsthand, and I try to speak about this very openly in my content, is success is not about never having a bad day, never getting into those toxic cycles again. And here's the thing. you won't fall back. You won't fall back completely, but your fears or your insecurities or those things will come
You
back
always
up
have to deal with your ego. Your
right. You
ego's
still
always
have to live
going
with
to
your
be
ego.
there.
You still have to live with your ego.
Yeah.
So the success or, the point of the program is not to kill the ego or to never have stress or challenges or insecurities or self-doubt. It's to have the processes to nurture yourself and work through those things so that they don't derail you anymore.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that, because even me today, 4 years into this, I still have to go back to the foundation, to these things that I teach in my program. I do it for myself because when those fears because every time I want to expand or up level, a new insecurity comes through.
Right. And that's what else I was going to say. So when I was, a year ago when we worked together, I was trying to get out of my job and fix my relationships, and it was different then. So my daily list of things was a little bit different. Whereas then whenever I left my job and now I'm starting to transform and build my own business, well, now I have all this free time. And I've never had free time before. I've worked since I was 15 years old. So I've never had free. What is free time? So I was picking up and building a lot of bad and unhealthy habits that I didn't want to carry with me. So when I sat down and made that list again, I was like, oh, I'm spending a lot of time doing things that aren't contributing to the future that I want to have. So I had to make more shifts because now my life has changed. I've manifested this thing and here it is. I wanted this. So why am I
how do I maintain it?
Right.
How do I manage
why am I
it?
spending my time doing this, and this, and not X, Y, and Z, and I had to do some more deeper work to really say, okay, this is what you need to do. And like I said, because we have worked with each other and I have these tools, it's just, I'm able to apply them over and over and over again.
Yeah. And I love that you mentioned that because that is a clear on it's one part internal, one part external, because you can sit here and have this vision of the future. You can sit here and have this idea of what you want to do, but if you're not overcoming the fears that will come up during that, or the insecurities internally, you're gonna repel it, because the law of attraction, energy of, I don't know if I can handle it. I don't know if I can take this on. And the law of attraction feels that. So the law of attraction is like, she doesn't know. So I don't know. So I'm not going to do anything about it.
Should I give this to you?
Right. Should I give?
Should I not? Yeah. Because you're kind of like questioning yourself.
I don't know what to do with this girl. She's got a great idea, but she tells me she's not ready. Right. So it's one part internal fear, but then it's that second part, which is what you just mentioned. And that's the details of the plan. That's the details of the schedule. That's the details of how you need to show up, of what you need to prioritize, and where you need to start. Because I think so many people, I'm so glad we're getting to talk about this. I think so many people who are maybe new to manifestation, or even people who are trying to master manifestation that have been working on it for a while, I think they get confused because they hear, oh, you're supposed to leave the how to the universe. And so the how that you're supposed to leave to the universe is, where the money's going to come from, or, and there's such a fine line. Okay. So the how is not that you shouldn't be taking action, or you shouldn't know what action to take. The how is, okay, I have a coaching business. I'm going to make content. I'm going to do emails. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. That's what I have to know. That's how I know, like, I'm going to build an audience. I'm going to attract clients. That how I need to know, and I need to show up for, and I need to prioritize. But how Kara meets me, or how Kara crosses me,
how I attract those clients,
how that invisible attraction, or how the invisible connection is made, that is the how that you don't need to control. And that is the how that you need to surrender to.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, because again, I talk about this and I want to make it very clear for anybody here listening. And I think that this is so massive. This is what's made the difference. And I'm sure you might be able to attest. It's what's
Absolutely.
made the difference for you, because if you didn't
Yes.
have the process to
Yeah.
detail your planning and to detail your focus steps and to detail your priorities, if you didn't have that process on top of the inner work process of like, okay, I'm having a fear, or there's an illusion here I'm putting on myself, or a limitation that's blocking me. And you need both. You can't, it's one without the other. Like, because if you can sit here and have a detailed plan, maybe you're a planner,
Yeah.
maybe you have the planning, maybe you have the scheduling down. But if you are living with that limitation of what if I can't handle it, you're repelling.
And I have a lot of girlfriends that are planners. So they have list upon list upon list,
Right.
upon everything. They can map it all out, but they can't physically take action
And that's the fear.
on right. Because there's
That's the
something
inner.
holding. Yes, it's the
Right. So, and I've
belief.
got clients,
Yep.
most of my clients are a little bit part A, part B, but sometimes I see clients who lean more on one scale than the other, and I'm a manifesting generator. And so detail oriented things are like my jam. Like,
Yeah.
I have to be extremely detailed in order for me to manifest properly, but
Yeah.
also I have to have work. And so it's so good because I mean, I work with, and I don't know much about human design. I only know what I know because I have a client who's a human design guide, and she
Yeah.
tells me about
I
my human
love that
design all the time,
podcast. I did listen to that one.
and
Yeah.
so, but my client that is a human design guide, she's a projector. So I know, like, I work with all kinds of human design types, and the system based on what she shares with me is in alignment with her. It's in alignment with me, and it's been in alignment with any of the people that I've attracted. So,
Yeah.
I know like that what I've got works.
I wonder, I
know, like,
wonder if that's how this was, because after I listened to that podcast, I did you guys put a little link in there about, find out and I was a projector. So I went back and listened because she gave examples of herself, well, since I'm a projector, this is how and I listened to it and was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's kind of that makes sense to me. So that's crazy you just said that. I wonder if that's why, because you
well, it's
kind
so
of
funny.
manifested.
I haven't checked all of my clients' design types yet,
Oh,
but I
me
know
too.
for sure the two people that I work with regularly are projectors and manifesting generators. Those are the
Wow.
two types that I work with. And I feel like those are like the two opposite types almost.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that that just like kind of like makes the divine energy
Yeah.
within me kind of tingle,
Yeah.
because I'm just like, oh my God, I think I've like landed on some gold here. Like, I can help all the energy types align. And like, cause
Yeah.
I don't know, cause I think the big key component to being able to work with all of the energy types is the fact that I don't take any responsibility in creating your processes for you.
Right. Yeah.
I just give you like the outline or
Mm-hmm.
like the roadmap to how it's done, whether
Yep.
it's the inner work or the outer strategy.
Mm-hmm.
I show you little outlines, and then I make you fill in the pieces so
Yep.
that you awaken your own creativity. You awaken your own master. You,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to master you.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the master for you. I
Yeah.
want you to awaken your own inner divine mastery.
You explained that perfectly, because I remember many times, like, it was like, okay, here is what we're going to discuss today, and then we get there and it's like, you want me to do all the talking, and like you said, filling in the blanks. It's almost like, okay, well, and then once you open up and start really, talking about it, that's whenever oh, that does make sense, and this is what you do to work through it. Yeah, I don't know, it's just the way that you explained that. I was like, she nailed that. She nailed that, because that's exactly what she does. It's like, I remember telling you multiple times about it. I felt like you were just gently pushing me a little bit and holding my hand while I like stepped into this like little piece that I was so unsure about exploring. So I don't know, I just loved working with you. I really did. I think you were so great.
Oh, I loved having you. I loved being with you. I loved our time together and I love everything that you have accomplished. And it's just, I feel like you're like my little kid. Like I have a mentor and she has like people she was talking about. And the other day she said, oh, she accomplished so much and she's moving on. And I feel like I'm sending my kid to college. And like, I was like, oh my God, I feel like that right now with Kara. I feel like
Yeah.
that. I'm sending my child to college right now. And, but I mean, it's,
Gosh.
it's just been crazy. It's just been so awesome. So
Yeah.
I love that. And let's see here. So what are things, I know you've opened up this business and you've got your own little tagline, the mindful mom, and I freaking love that. It's just so cute. I love seeing all your reels and your business page and just everything. So what are some things that you are excited about? And then next we'll out like what, I think we've already touched a little bit on some of the secrets that have really got us there,
Mhm.
but I'll let you give some specific tips as well. So where are you now? Like paint us a little picture. Talk about, we the trouble with the work, relationships, the kids, all that. So let us know where are you at today.
Yeah, so it was so crazy because like you said, when you surrender, it's like everything just is like, it's great. And I was able to exit my job and it was on my terms. It wasn't me being fired. It wasn't me leaving because I was just fed up and over the bullshit. It was me leaving because I was ready for something bigger than anything I could expect for myself. And my relationships immediately began to flourish as well. I think, again, because I've had so much free time, I've really been able to focus on those things that you had said were so important because they're still so important. And I realized in my relationship with my significant other that I was really not open to receiving his love. I mean, we were just at that time butting heads so much. And I knew that I was either leaving my job or I was going to leave my relationship because I couldn't handle the stress. Like something had to go. Um, so when I left go of work, it was like everything else became so much more loving, and I have really just been able to slow down for once in my life and pay attention to things that really make me happy. And I think that's why I've been able to create such a beautiful thing for myself right now. Because I'm still taking those tools and things that we've done together and applying them to my life as I continue to grow and become someone else. I remember crying to you multiple times about feeling like I was shedding a layer of myself. It was like I had to say goodbye to these pieces of
Yeah.
myself.
And it's a little bit of a grieving
It
process
is, it
to
is. That's
let
why I'm
go
still so
of.
emotional about it, because I feel like I'm still going through this
Oh, and I do every day.
thing. Yes.
Almost every day. I am crying with a mixture of excitement for what's
Yes.
coming and like
Yes.
gratitude of the magic that I'm experiencing. But then it's like
Mhm.
sometimes there is just this, and I just want to appreciate you for coming on here, being so freaking vulnerable, being
Yeah.
so open and raw and real. Like this is better than I could have even imagined for what people are going to receive when they see this
Yeah.
and be here and be present with this video because this is real.
Yeah. And I'm
This
glad
is
you
what
said that about it being grateful tears, because I feel like back then it was, I'm sad that this is over for me. And
right.
now these tears, they are so warm. Like this
I
is,
know. I can feel you.
it's not sad. I'm not sad about anything. I'm so genuinely grateful, and I'm so blessed to be where I am right now in my life. I would have never ever imagined that I would be able to be my own boss, that I would have a successful relationship with a man, that me and my kids would have healthy relationships with each other. It's just been fantastic. It really has been. can't wait to see what's next. I know, like I said, even in my business, what I'm doing right now is nothing to where I want to be. And that makes me really, really hopeful for every other aspect of my life, because I'm able to see that. And
And
it's something
it's
I
not where you want,
wouldn't be
it's
able
not
to.
reached its full potential, but
Yes.
you see the clarity of its full potential.
Yes, absolutely.
You
Yeah. And
see its full potential, and you also have the tools to overcome the inner work that's going to
Mhm.
make it to its full potential, and the outer strategy to be detailed, to know how you need to prioritize, to know how you need to show up. You have it all, have everything that you need, and you're able, because because of that, I think that adds an extra layer of security
Yeah.
and safety, and this ability to just live
Yeah.
in the now,
Living
live
in that.
right now, and just enjoy the baby steps in the business,
Yeah.
enjoy the relationship, enjoy that time freedom that for yourself,
Yeah.
and while you're building that financial freedom. And I'm
Yeah.
just so honored to have you here today to express this with people. And because I see you going, I mean, of course I see you going like amazing places. I know what you're capable of, because I know what I
Yeah.
have. I know what these tools are doing for me.
Mhm.
And I know that you have the same drive and the
Yeah.
same capacity and the same will,
Mhm.
just as all my other clients. And so I'm just like watching all of you freaking grow into these beautiful flowers, like in
Yeah.
blooming, and then spreading your seeds, and like, because your work and even the work of my other clients, it's literally pouring onto other people,
Yeah.
because what you're doing is nothing short of helping others in their own healing
Right.
and reaching their own full potential.
Yeah.
And it's just this massive ripple effect, and I'm just so honored. So with that being said, what are maybe three things, and maybe we've already touched on them a little bit, but maybe just to summarize, or to come like bring it all into full circle, what are maybe three main things that
Um,
have been really pivotal, or like the things that help you maintain and continue to make progress?
I would say definitely taking time to acknowledge where you're spending your energy. And even those little micro minutes, you really don't realize. And I can use this too as an example. I quit smoking finally. So I realized, like, when I was making my list of like things, how I'm spending my time, it was okay. Well, I'm spending like an hour every day outside smoking 15 cigarettes, and in an hour, I was also able to write 4 meditation scripts, and was able to start this slide that I was. There's so much. I got to this place where it was like, I would rather be spending my time doing this instead of this. But you really have to take a look and be honest with yourself where you're spending your time, and get down to the very, I mean, it doesn't have to be the exact minute, but
Right.
I mean, and the other part of that is
The
like,
little things like spending time on social media,
yes,
you're comparing your business to others, or whatever,
yes,
these little things take up 10, 15, 20 minutes
yeah,
here and there, but that can add up to an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of your day. And you're only awake so many of those hours. You're going to be sleeping between 7 and 9 hours of the 24-hour period. So if you're wasting three
yeah,
hours of your day, that is either affecting your body in a negative way or affecting your mind in a negative way.
yeah.
Those add up, and those make your habits make you who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's like, how did you feel after I smoked the cigarettes? It was like, well, I felt like shit every time,
Right.
versus whenever I wrote my meditation scripts and I worked on business stuff and planning
Feel
and
like
content.
energized, and you feel
Right.
like
It
I'm
was
on
like
top of
when I
the
was done
world.
with
Like,
that, I was like in a good mood, and like went and gave my family hugs and kisses. After I smoked a cigarette, I wasn't coming in and giving you a hug and kiss,
yeah, you're like probably like, oh, I probably stink. I'm gonna like
Yeah.
actually
So, I
push myself
mean,
away from them.
yeah, so it's just like the micro things are also very important and lead to the very big picture.
100%. The small things add up. The small little things you're doing every single day, it you do, if you're doing the small little things that are
Yeah.
writing the meditations, building the business, doing whatever, if you're doing those small little things, if you're replacing the habits that are not pushing you forward and you replace them with the things that will push you forward, number one, like you said, your energy is going to go up.
Yeah.
Your want for connection and celebration is going to go up. Therefore, your joy and fulfillment is going to increase, and you haven't even reached your success yet.
Absolutely.
You have, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's, you can reach fulfillment without even having the thing.
Yes.
And it's just by doing these little simple tweaks. So I love that.
My second thing would probably be boundaries. Having boundaries in anything it is. I mean, relationships, work, personal, business, like you need to have boundaries. That's something that I have learned so quickly is I don't always have to say yes to everything at every time. I just don't have to, because if it's not going to benefit me, that may sound so selfish, but I don't even care. If it's not going to benefit me, if it's not going to contribute to my end goal, what I'm trying to achieve right now, I'm saying no. And I mean that in the most calm and compassionate way. You know, like, I'm not saying no to upset anyone, but I have to say no.
Well, and I love that you mentioned this, because it can be so deeply ingrained in us that is selfish, or that there's something wrong with that. But when you have love for yourself to honor your desires and your soul's purpose, what happens is not only do you get to honor yourself and move forward in a more quicker way for your own dreams and desires and soul's purpose, but you actually create space for other people to do that too. Because not on one end, you might teach someone like, hey, it's okay to put yourself first. And then on the other end, if someone tells you no, you might celebrate them. Like, I know for me, because I honor my boundaries, and you're probably going to share an example of this, but I know for me, if someone tells me no, or like if I show like what I did with you today, I had no idea if you were going to be available, or when you'd be available, or if you'd even be open to this, right? I didn't care though. I was like, hey, I'm going to ask. If she doesn't want to, or if she doesn't have the time or the capacity to, perfect, because I know she's doing exactly what she needs to do. Right. I have the space and the capacity because I honor myself to proud or be celebrated, to be able to celebrate other people honoring themselves. And it's just a really great place to be.
Yeah. So the first time I had held a free event in the community, I printed out flyers and was running around town, hanging them all up. And out of everywhere I went, there was one place that told me no. And I walked in and I, gave the whole spiel that I've given to everyone in the neighborhood. And she was just like, yeah, I'm sorry, we can't hang flyers. And I just, okay, thank you. Have a good day. So, and I think because like boundaries, I had understood that she had boundaries for her shop. And it was, okay, that's fine. Your neighbor and everyone else has one. And I wasn't even upset with it, because at the end of the day, all these other people had told me yes. So the one person that said no, okay, I respect your boundaries. And you know what's so crazy? I still go into this shop. It is a phenomenal shop. It's a sustainability shop. It's an eco-friendly shop. She has so many great things in there. So it's not like I immediately was like, oh, okay, well, she didn't support me, I'm not going to support her type thing. It was respecting each other's boundaries,
and you're the capacity, right? Like your capacity, her capacity, and it's the cup half full, and also just realizing like everybody's in their own little world right now, and that's okay. I know that I have my own little world and I honor it, so I honor everybody else's.
Yes, absolutely.
And I love that. I love that example, and I just, this is great. And then maybe, is there one more thing you wanted to share?
Just be patient and know that you're worthy. You have to, I always use this phrase whenever I'm talking about meditation. Like, you can't walk into a gym. I don't care how strong you are. You can't walk into a gym and start bench pressing 500 pounds. So if you're going to start meditating, you're not going to sit here and not have your mind racing. Your mind's not just going to go blank because you sat down and finally decided to meditate. takes a lot of work. You have to build that muscle. So you have to be patient with whatever goal it is you are trying to achieve. I know it sucks. Everyone wants it right here, right now. We want that instant gratification, but you have to be patient whenever. And I think like when we moved into this house, we knew we were buying this house. So it was like we weren't in a rush to decorate. We weren't in a rush to paint and change things up. Then because it was gutted. So we bought a piece of crap. We did it all ourselves, but we had someone else come in and do it. So it didn't have like the touches that we would necessarily want. So when we first moved in here, we were just kind of like, well, we're going to be here for the rest of our lives. So like, what's the rush? And I have like applied that to everything that I have wanted and manifested. And when it's finally arrived here, it's like, okay, now that I have it, I can be patient with it because it's not going anywhere. It's for the rest of my life.
Absolutely love that you say that, because just because you manifest something, I think some people get into this mindset of, oh, well, it's here, right? Like, okay, maybe I make a career transition. It's here. The job's not done.
Nope.
The job's not done. Or, oh, I hit my first 10K month.
Yeah. Like, it's not. Yeah. It's just the beginning. It's
literally just the beginning, right? It's just the next step. And the only way to continue to evolve, to continue to advance, to create more consistency in what you're building and is that patience. Yes. And it's that idea of, well, it's here. I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it, and I'm going to nurture it, and I'm just going to continue to learn from it and to learn more about myself in the process, and to just take breaks and to honor myself and make sure that I'm keeping my capacity where it needs to be so that I can manage this and maintain it and evolve it. And you've got everything you need. And I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy that you have this. And not only do you have it for yourself, but you get to apply it now into everything you do. You apply it in your relationships, you apply it in your business with your kids. And it's just into the external parts of your life. And then I just know that it's already probably rippling into your clients' lives. And I'm just, like, success. This is success. But guess what? This is just, I can't wait to tell the next success story.
I know.
Like, I can't wait for your next success story, for your next evolution, for my other clients' next success story. Like, I just am so thankful. So thank you so much, Kara, for coming and sharing your story and giving these tips. I really hope that everybody tuning in enjoyed this and got something from it. Thank you so much for your vulnerability. Absolutely. I love you. And I love that I got to see those tears of gratitude just because I feel them. I know, like, when I have like an aha moment or a breakthrough, or I'm looking back at like what's happened, like I cry. I cry just like that, but it's tears of just genuine, like, I can just feel how the universe and the creator have held me and have gotten me here and have showed me the way, have manifested the mentors that I needed, the clients that I needed, the loves that I needed, my daughter, everything has just been placed so magically and so perfect for me to just be here. And when I go through that and those tears, it's that remembrance of you're so held and you're so, like, everything is magical. And I'm so, like, it just blew me away to get to actually see that, like, with you, to see that in my client, and like just someone that, took everything that we did together, whether it was uncomfortable or I pushed you or whatever, and you just took it and you ran with it and you made it something so amazing, because that's what it was here for. You knew you needed it, and you knew that, or you knew you needed something, right? You knew you needed like something, and something about me and our connection resonated for you. You took it seriously, and you made shit happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's so crazy because people want, I still cry. It's just, like I said, it's different now. So people always ask me like, what's wrong? And it's like, I really never envisioned such a beautiful place for myself. And that's why That's why it's so special, because you can literally think that you are not worthy of anything and have such a beautiful life for yourself. You can create such a beautiful life for yourself.
From starting from that place of like,
Yeah.
can I handle this?
Mhm.
Am I this? Do I even deserve?
Am I
You
worthy?
know,
Yeah. Am I worthy of this? Like, yeah,
right.
you are worthy and you deserve a beautiful life.
But see, and I love that you say this because it's of course true. Like we see it, I see it, you see it, but it's the only reason we see it is God in ourselves.
Mhm.
And that light bulb clicked for us. And the
Yes.
only way any of you listening today are going to see it is if you look inward for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sarah's words don't matter. Heather's words don't
I could
matter.
say it till I'm blue in the
I
face.
can
You're
say it. I
worthy,
can
you're
literally,
worthy,
yeah,
you're
like
worthy.
literally that. And that's why I do what I do. And that's
Yeah.
why the exercise that I did with you when we were
Yeah.
working through all of that, it wasn't me just like hyping you up or telling you
Yeah.
anything. I made you get into the scary rawness of it. I
Yep.
was like, let's go to the very lowest. Let's go
Yep.
to the lowest point that we can go with this. And that it's in that lowest point where I took you as low as it could possibly go, where you saw the truth.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
And it was just, I remember it. I can tell you remember it. I think it's one of those things. It's just like, it was a moment that will
Yeah.
never, it's
Yeah.
just one of those things you'll always carry.
Yeah. Like writing all this, and I was like, holy wait a minute, holy shit.
I love it. I love it. Well, we're going to wrap up here. And I really that this was so valuable for you guys. I know,
Yes.
I know I needed to hear it. I know I needed to be here. I
Me
know
too.
I'm glad I witnessed all of this. So I hope that, anybody here, I hope that this was really cool and that you guys really enjoyed it as much as I did. And I hope you had as much fun as I did, Kara.
Yes.
And again, just thank you so much for being here with me. And I will see everybody in the group next week.